covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about the viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good morning, Kenya. Every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
WAFCON, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth way the vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Cold
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hadija ai, money especially ukisonga.
And Lamin Camara with his first career goal.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika. Ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri. David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1. Mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Usemaji wa uongo ni jambo ambalo limepigwa vita katika Uislamu, ila kuna mambo ambayo yanaweza kupelekea kuweza kuficha ukweli.
Maisha yake Nabii Ibrahim alilazimika kuficha ukweli mara kadhaa kutokana na sababu tofauti, zikiwemo pale Nabii Ibrahim alipoficha ukweli baada ya kuvunja masanamu yote yaliyokuwa yakiabudiwa.
Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo ambalo kwamba kila Muislamu lazima afahamu malengo mahsusi aliyoletewa hapa duniani, huwa si lingine isipokuwa ni kumwabudu Mola wake.
Ni mwaliko wa kuishi kwa unyenyekevu, matumaini na moyo wa shukrani kila siku, kila saa, kila pumzi.
La ilaha illa Allah.
Ulikuwa nikimwangusha.
Uchunguzi ulifanyika na ukaonekana ni wewe ulimwangusha.
Watu si wajinga, tunajua you people mnajifanyaga nyinyi askari na nyinyi si askari.
Si alijitambulisha?
Pingo na mtomo tu. Asipokuwa na uniform siwezi mtambua.
Akiwa bila uniform si polisi.
Kutoa pingo ni kujitambulisha.
Hakuwa amebeba, lakini wewe ni wa hiyo area. Wewe anajua hiyo mtu ni constable.
Am I a civilian?
Yes you are.
I'm a civilian.
Yes you are.
Am I pedestrian?
We want to check on the realities of cross-cultural or even nationalities kind of marriages, the setup, the parenting, the blessings, and also the challenges that come with it.
It was like, from Nigeria, you say?
Did you go the Nigerian way? Did you go the Meru way? Did you have a cocktail?
I was serving my in-laws cake. They refused to take it.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like, you don't serve with your left hand. It hasn't been a rosy path.
because these were two different kinds of independencies being shaken, and then now we're trying to come together and become one.
Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco.
Feel the pulse of a continent where Africa's fiercest women warriors clash for glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. Africa's top teams, one crown. Morocco hosts once more, ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copper Queen. They have been waiting for this moment. Here's a chance for a second. South African lead by 2 goals to 0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football, it's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFCON 2024. Live from Morocco.
We want to check on the realities of cross-cultural or even nationalities kind of marriages, the setup, the parenting, the blessings, and also the challenges that come with it.
It was like, from Nigeria, you say.
Did you go the Nigerian way? Did you go the Meru way? Did you have a cocktail?
I was serving my in-laws cake. They refused to take it.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like, you don't serve with your left hand. It hasn't been a rosy path because these were two different kinds of independencies being shaken, and then now we're trying to come together and become one.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. You're watching Biz Check this morning, and of course we're coming on air from our national broadcasting house here in Nairobi. This morning we just want to have a look at the real estate industry in Kenya. I mean, let me give you some interesting statistics. When you look at this sector, it has been growing at an annualized rate of about 9% in the last 10 years. And today the value of this industry is about 800 billion shillings, contributing almost 10% to Kenya's annual GDP. So it's a critical sector. But the question is, why do we still have a lot of scams, fraud, and of course lies within this industry? What is the phase of regulations governing this industry, and what is the government doing and the private sector doing to ensure that cases of fraud are brought down in this industry? I mean, I'll be talking to an advocate of the High Court to help us guide through the legal labyrinth of this critical industry, and of course the way forward. And from 11 to 12 we shall be discussing the World Ushirika Day. It's going down on the 12th of July, which is on Saturday. And of course, remember last year the United Nations declared the year 2025 as the year of cooperatives. That's right. And this is also another critical industry in Kenya, you know, employing millions of people, and of course their contribution to GDP is high. We're also keeping an eye on the flash floods, barreling some states in the U.S. from the Cook County in Texas, where more than 120 people have died. And of course, we're also keeping an eye on what's happening in New Mexico, in the city of Albuquerque, where another flash flood is threatening lives. I told you we are live from Broadcasting House, and of course our reporters are on the ground tracking the happenings, and they shall be giving us an update on what's happening. This is BizCheck, and of course the first hour. Our conversation is regulations in the real estate industry. And guess who is joining us this morning? We have Joshua Aoko. He's a legal officer at SIC Investment Cooperative. He's going to guide us through the legal issues in this industry. Thank you very much indeed, Joshua, for finding time to be with us this morning. First of all, help us understand, how is the legal landscape within the real estate industry in Kenya?
Currently, I would say that there are a lot of real estate companies coming up, a lot of developments going on around the city, and even at the county levels. A lot of people buying land so that they can set up their homes within the city or within the outskirts of the city. So the demand for land and housing has really gone up, and that's why we also have the government also trying to intervene through the affordable housing to try and bridge the gap between the private sectors and the public sector.
That's right. I mean, and so when you track the legal development that has taken place in the last 10 years, what conclusion do you make?
Looking at the past 10 years, there has been rapid developments, just the way I've said, and that also calls for being extra careful when going about these transactions. You need to have a lawyer involved in such transactions just to ensure that everything is okay, the title is okay, the apartment being sold has the right documentation, because it will be very painful for you to invest maybe in an apartment, let's say worth 10 million, then the investment doesn't bear fruits. Maybe it was just a sham. So we really need to take care. We really need to take a keen look when engaging in such transactions. Yes.
Take us through some of the legal provisions domiciled within this industry.
Yeah, so if you talk of the legal provisions, we have quite a number. Of course, the supreme law is that of the Constitution of Kenya, that now guarantees the ownership and the rights of a land. We have other subsequent legislations like the Land Act, we have the Land Registration Act, we have the Sectional Properties Act, that now, which has introduced the sectional titles that we have. So there are quite a number of legislations that govern the real estate and matters land in Kenya. Yes.
Let's start with the supreme law of the land. This is the Constitution. What does it say about land matters in Kenya?
Yeah, so Article 60 of the Constitution of Kenya tells us, it articulates the mode of land ownership that we have in Kenya. And we have the freehold system and we have the leasehold system. So under the freehold system, it's whereby a landowner can own the land in like forever. He doesn't have to like relinquish the rights, the ownership rights at some particular point. So under the leasehold in Kenya, under the leasehold, it's whereby land is owned for a fixed period of time, let's say 50 years or 99 years. And this is mostly applicable to the foreigners in Kenya. So upon the expiry of the term lease, let's say 99 years, it's either renewable or the land will revert back to the government. Yeah. So that is the difference.
The leasehold.
Yes, the leasehold.
With a lifespan of 99 years.
Yes.
And it can be renewed.
It can be renewed.
Or not.
Or not. Yes.
Who dictates that this is freehold and this is leasehold land?
Yeah, so for that, it depends on where the land is located. Mostly land which are in up country, they are owned through the freehold system. Then if you look at the commercial areas like the cities,
the urban areas.
Yeah, the urban areas. So mostly the mode of land ownership is that of leasehold. Yes. So for a leasehold, you can set up commercial spaces, residential places. So depending on the term for the lease, once it has expired, it's either you can either renew it, or the land will revert back to the government or to the owner of that lease, of that land, that is. Yes.
Still on the leasehold, you're saying this is mostly found in urban areas. So who declares that this land is freehold, even in the urban areas, and this is a freehold?
Yeah. So the custodian
is it the county government, is the national government?
The custodian of all the lands in Kenya is the government, because it regulates and governs how these lands are to be administered. Now we have the National Land Commission that oversees the whole operations of this particular kind of lands in Kenya. At the county level, what the counties may impose, and it is a way of them generating more revenue to them, is by way of the land rates that they'll impose on all the lands within a particular area. Normally they do the zoning, then to determine whether an area is rateable or an area it is not. So we've seen quite a number, like of late we've seen counties trying to apply the land rates even on those lands which are in the interior, as a way of trying to increase revenue for them. Yeah, so I can say that it's a shared responsibility between the county government and the national government. So because if you also consider the whole idea of the land rent is payable to the national government, the National Land Commission, while the land rates are payable to the county governments. Yeah, so they're assisting each other. I would say that they share that responsibility, but the overall surveillance sits with the national government. Yes.
So is there a situation whereby you can find yourself paying the two rates for the same land?
Yes. You can find yourself paying both the land rates and the land rent. Yeah, I would give an example of one of our projects in Syokimau. It's a housing project. So every year we have to pay the land rates to the county government of Machakos, and every other year we have to pay the land rent to the National Land Commission. Yes. Yeah. So
and how is it calculated?
Yeah, it depends on for the land rates. It depends on how developed that area is. So at times, in other areas, they are pegged on the value of the land. If the higher the value, and the more developed the value is, the higher the land rate you'll pay. Yeah. If the area in other counties, they'll apply a standard rate of, let's say, 1,500 shillings every other year that you need to pay to the county government to ensure that you've complied with the payment of the land rate. And of course, in such an instance, once you comply, then you can easily get the permits to continue with the developments on that said land. Yes.
And so one then would assume that land rates in, for example, in the Machakos County is very different from land rates in Nairobi County, for example.
Yes.
Because of the level of development.
Yes.
So you're expected to pay higher rates in Nairobi County as opposed to as opposed to a county like, let's say, Turkana.
Yeah, it's true. So within Nairobi, if you take a comparison between Nairobi County and Turkana County, the land rate payable would be much higher in Nairobi than it is in Turkana. Given maybe possible in Turkana, the county government has not actively taken up that initiative of zoning all the areas and rating them. Yeah, given the disparity in terms of developments which are between the two counties. Yes.
Also help us understand, you talked about the Constitution, and I still want us to be tethered around there. help us also understand, Article 40 of the Constitution, that guarantees the right to own land in any other part of the country. How does it fit in this whole matrix of land ownership in Kenya?
Yeah, so as a citizen of this great Republic of Kenya, you're allowed to own land anywhere within the country. And that's why even at SIC, you'll find that our projects are distributed all over, almost like 16 counties. We have projects in Malindi, we have projects in Kwale, we have projects in Bondo. So as a citizen, as long as you are a citizen by birth, you can own land in any part of this country. It's based on a willing buyer, willing seller. If you get a seller who is willing to sell for you a land in Turkana and the title is clean, why not?
Did you say as a citizen by birth?
Yes, by
Only?
birth. Yes.
What about acquired citizenship?
In the case of the foreigners, mostly they are limited. They cannot own land in this
dual
republic
citizens?
under freehold.
Even dual citizens?
Dual citizens, no.
You can't?
Unless that you are a Kenyan citizen by birth, then you acquire a second one from another country. Then you can own it under freehold. But if you are a foreigner obtaining a second citizenship in Kenya, I don't think it's possible to own land under freehold. Yes, because for freehold, you own the land in perpetuity. You can transfer the same to your next of kin, to your third generation, forever, and you can determine the kind of use you put on this particular land. Yes.
Also, take us to the Land Act of 2012. What does it say in terms of land ownership in Kenya?
Yeah. So the supreme law that governs land in Kenya is the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Out of it, we have the Land Act of now 2010. So 2012. So the Constitution of Kenya 2010 will give the foundation. Then now when you come to the Land Act of 2011, it will now give you now the broader provisions, like in terms of ownership, how to go about there are certain overriding principles that again are enshrined in the Constitution. It is more detailed, like also it outlines the issues of leases. It also spells out the issues of charges, how you can charge your land to a bank. So it's a more detailed act that now will give out more details about the land governance and land management in Kenya. Yes.
And also, there is also the Land Registration Act, which I also want us to discuss.
Yes.
Because, you're having a situation whereby a lot of people have lost their investment in the registration. Yeah, I mean, we meet, we agree, we discuss, we bargain, we settle for this land at this cost, but you lose your investment during the registration process.
Yes.
Either the land does not belong to you, you are holding a fraudulent title, or there are encumbrances,
Yes.
This land is encumbered. And so, the Land Registration Act is supposed to deal with this. So how does it protect the seller and the buyer?
Yeah. So for the Land Registration Act, it outlines the steps that one needs to take when registering a title in the name of now the purchaser. The Land Act, again I'll refer to the Land Act, which now is a sister regulation to the Land Registration Act. It provides that for any transaction that involves land, all the parties must commit in writing that they are willing to be part of this negotiation. So proving something which is verbal is very difficult, unless there's a third party, or which the third party, when he or she gives evidence, it can be questioned. So in matters land, be it an agreement, let the agreement be in writing, let there be witnesses to the same, and if possible, let these agreement be drafted by a qualified advocate who is capable of attesting to such a kind of an agreement. Now, there are 3 steps that one needs to take when getting involved in a land transaction. Of course, at the very onset, you need to conduct a thorough due diligence before even commencing any transaction or any registration process. So this will entail you'll bring a lawyer on board to try and investigate further the accuracy or the authenticity of this title. So you have to get a hold of the title deed. You have to get a hold of the vendor's detail. You need to conduct a search at the registry. You look at the parcel file, whether this land is encumbered, whether it has any other issues on it. And also part of the due diligence would involve you going to the ground physically to check the land where it is, including walking beacon to beacon around the parcel, just to ensure that the parcel really exists. Because there are instances whereby our diaspora partners have invested into something which doesn't exist. Yeah. So you really, as an advocate, when going about the due diligence, you need to go to the ground just to ascertain that this parcel really exists. And again, you also need to check whether this land whether it has any litigation matter going on over it.
How do you check that?
You can just do a search at the Kenya law, just to look whether this land has an ongoing case, or there's been a decided case over the same parcel. Yeah.
So how do you get to know? Like, how do you access the Kenya law? I mean, is it something that you can access on the website?
Yeah,
you have to go to a certain office or what?
Yeah, it's just a website. And more so if there are matters that have been decided before the High Court, you'll just do a random search of the land title number. Then it's newkenyalaw.org. So once you get into that website, then you'll be able to, you just input the land title number or even the name of the vendor. Then in any case there are any decisions which have been made over the said parcel, then you'll be able to see that there's an ongoing there's already a concluded matter over that said parcel of land.
And that's why you need to involve or to tap into the services of a lawyer.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is what he's supposed to do.
Yes,
apart from drawing up the agreement.
Yes.
These are the background checks he's supposed to conduct on your behalf.
Yeah. And for the due diligence, it has to be very thorough for you to be sure that this parcel of land, it has a clean title. There are no other issues.
What is a clean title?
A clean title is a title that has no issues. The details of
that number one is original.
Yes, it's original, it's authentic, it has been sealed and signed by the registrar who issued it. There are no...
How do you tell this is the signature of a registrar?
Because there's a place that they normally sign, and even on the transfer documents they also sign and seal. So you really have to...
But I mean, I've never seen the registrar. I don't even know the registrar, for example.
Yes.
How do I even know that this is even the real signature of the registrar?
Yes. So, and that's why once you have that title, there is always a serial number at the back of that title. So, as part of also conducting the due diligence, you have to go and check the parcel file at the registry, whether these two serial numbers.
Registry.
Yes. The actual parcel file, you just request it to be given to you, so that you can ascertain that this information or the serial number appearing on the title deed matches that which appears on the parcel file. Just to be sure that, because for title deeds, normally if academic certificates can be forged, why not a title deed? So we really need to be sure.
So the title deed can be forged.
Yes, it can be forged. Yes,
but you still have the original and the real and the authentic title deed somewhere.
There are cases whereby for one parcel of land, 3 different owners have title deeds for the same parcel.
But
so
there is only one
is original,
title.
the other two are
fake.
Yeah, they're fake. Yes, it happens.
Is it possible for you to tell an an original title from a fake title by a casual look?
By a casual look, it might not be possible, and you might not do it with ease, and that's why now you have to go further and do your due diligence, including having a look at the parcel file at the registry. Yes, also you'll also need even to do a historical search on the title to see the owners, the previous owners who've owned this land before. You'll also need even to do a green card search in case this land is a freehold, just to see how this land has transferred hands between different owners. So you really need to, the due diligence, it needs to be really tight, and the advocate conducting that should really have a keen eye, just to ensure that the person buying this land doesn't throw away money into a drain.
Is this something that can be done by somebody who is not an advocate?
No. Matters land and matters due diligence, they are better conducted by a qualified advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Well, you can get somebody, we always normally refer to them as brokers at the registry. Well, they might just do that basic search, but they cannot get to the bottom of verifying and authenticating whether this title is legit or it is a clean title. So for me, my advice would be, in any land transaction, whether it is a land for 100,000 shillings, go look for an advocate of the High Court of Kenya to assist you with all these processes. Because if you get it wrong at the due diligence stage, be rest assured that your investment will go down the drain. And it is something that is very painful, for an investor who is keen to own land in this Republic of Kenya.
You talked about brokers, and you find them in most land registries in this country. You go to Kiambu, you go to Machakos, you go to Nairobi, you find them. Are they legal?
I would say,
what is their legal status?
I would say, well, a broker in a land transaction would be, I would say that it is synonymous to that of an agent. But now in the case of an agent, if it is purchase sale, they'll procure for you a buyer, they'll procure the purchaser, then you guys will meet. So this agent must be a registered agent to handle such a kind of transaction. So there's also a regulation that covers the agents. They have to be registered, of course, such that in case of anything, in case they are shortchanged, then they can get the protection of the law. Now, there are the other brokers who are now, I would say, or I would term them to be, I would term them as quacks, because now for them, their aim is to quickly transfer to you title, that they know that it doesn't have a clean title, but now they're transferring it to you quickly. They get their money, then walk away. So
they're not recognized by law anywhere?
The quacks are not. But for the agents who are registered, they are recognized by the law. Yes.
These are like land valuers?
Now land valuers, they fall under different category.
They are under the estates lands registration Act.
The estate agents registration. Of course, they're under the estate agents registration board. So every other year you have to renew your license just to show that you comply, and you can be an agent in any land transaction just by connecting the buyer and the seller, or pointing somebody to an investment which is coming up and helping him to secure the investment. Yes.
Very good. I mean, if you're just joining us, we're discussing land matters and why it's very important for you to understand the legal rigorous in this industry, and of course for you to get the right people for you to do the job. Otherwise, you're likely to burn your fingers. And as Joshua Oko, who is a legal officer at SIC, is telling us, I mean, it's painful, to lose your investment because you didn't do the right thing at the right time. And that is the conversation we're having here on BizCheck. We are live from our national headquarters here in Nairobi. And of course, now we want to take you to Westlands, where our reporter Betty Kiptum is about to give us a brief on the global economic outlook by Standard Chartered Bank. She's now joining us so that she can tell us what's happening there and what they are saying about how the market is supposed to look like in the rest of the year. Betty Kiptum, if you can hear me, just go ahead and tell us.
In Broadcasting House. We are coming to you live from Standard Chartered Building, where Standard Chartered has just released its global market outlook for the second half of 2025. And some of the things that have come out is that the Standard Chartered is expecting that for the remaining part of the year, the dollar is expected to continue remaining weak as it is currently, as well as just very slight impact of the tensions in the Middle East on the oil prices. And we'd like to just get a little bit of an overview of this global market outlook from Manpreet Gill, who is the Chief Investment Officer in charge of the Middle East and Africa, to just tell us more about this outlook for 2025, the second half. Thank you very much for speaking with us, Manpreet. Kindly join me. Could you just expound on that particular point of impact of tensions in the Middle East on oil prices, kindly?
Sure. Well, I think we don't expect, those tensions to have a last impact on oil prices. And look, it's understandable that we saw a brief sort of rise as markets worried a little bit about some sort of supply disruption. But because markets have a narrow view of geopolitics, right? At the end of the day, the focus is on the risk of any actual disruption. And I think the fact that we didn't get any means markets went back to just focusing on the fact that there's slight. A lot of supply out there relative to demand, and we think that's ultimately going to keep a lid on oil prices. And we're looking at prices in the range WTI around $65 per barrel.
How long have you been with us, I see?
And of course, in this first half of the year, we've seen movements in terms of tariffs from the United States. We've seen a number of trade wars between countries.
What happened to Safari?
Your forecast in terms of the impact on that, especially in the African market, if possible, market.
So I think regardless of where you look, right, here at Africa, Kenya, or anywhere else, we know that tariffs are a drag on economic growth, right? And I think we all realize that, here in Africa in April itself, when the first announcement sort of came out. But I think now the conversations already moved on to two separate, things around that. Number one is, I think in the next month or two, we're going to get a much tighter framework in terms of what actual trade deals between
having challenges with our signals there in Westlands. I think it's because it's very cold here in Nairobi. But of course, once we have stability on that end, we'll go back to Betty Kiptum for more in regard to the global economic outlook. Well, I'm being told that the signal is back. Let's listen in.
The next half year as well as in the short term?
So I think de-dollarization is a much bigger debate, and I think one that will be with us. But actually, our view of a weak dollar is predicated on a few more boring reasons. I think, look, we've seen central banks around the world cut interest rates, but the Fed hasn't quite followed through the same pace, and we think they have room to catch up later this year and next. And we've seen rising interest as U.S. policy remains uncertain. We've seen more interest in non-U.S. markets, and that's all showing in the dollar. Now, what's really interesting is that periods of a weak dollar tend to actually be really good for financial markets, for equities, but particularly non-U.S. equities. And I think that's where we're seeing rising interest, both from ourselves. In our view, equity markets around the world, including the U.S., should do well. But we should expect some volatility. These things never happen in a straight line. And we do think we'll see many more interest and opportunities outside the U.S., wave moving our equity overweight to Asia, ex-Japan, for example.
Right. Thank you very much, Manpreet, for speaking with us. I have been speaking with Manpreet Gill, who is the Chief Investment Officer at Standard Chartered, just giving us an overview of the global market outlook for the second half of 2025. Of course, a number of issues that he has brought about is the US dollar weakening, continuing to weaken for the rest of the year, as well as those US tariffs, just looking at the impact on African markets. And generally, he says across the world, really, there will be an impact. Well, I throw it back to you, Brian Kimani. We shall be filing a more detailed report about this outlook within our subsequent bulletins. For now, back to you, Kiptum. To you, Brian.
Thank you, Betty, for that. I mean, Standard Bank giving us an outlook of how the markets are expected to react, and of course the impact of the ongoing crisis in Middle East, as well as the trade tariffs between Trump and other countries of the world, and how this is likely to impact you and me. Well, she'll be giving us more detail in our subsequent bulletins at 1 o'clock and, of course, 7 and 9 p.m. We are back in studio. We are discussing land matters and why it matters to you. Joshua Oko is the legal officer at SIC Investment, taking us through the rigors of law when it comes to buying land and, of course, investing in the real estate. I also want to find out from you, I mean, so help us understand things. I mean, I'm interested in buying land, let's say in Mavoko, Machakos County. You are interested in selling this land. And so we also, we meet, we discuss. At what point do you start involving the lawyer?
At the very onset of the transaction, you need to onboard an advocate who is qualified, of course, to guide you through. Because in your discussions, I know that you'll be discussing the payment terms, maybe the installments, when you intend to complete this transaction. Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? So you really need to get a lawyer from the onset to engage him. Then, of course, by the time you guys are beginning the negotiations, it should find that the due diligence process has been completed. The buyer is satisfied that the vendor has a clean title. Mm-hmm. There are no other encumbrances on the title. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so once everything has been, once the lawyer has given you the go-ahead, you'll engage in the discussions. Of course, an agreement is it's just the intention of two parties to enter into a contract, and it is what they want that the lawyer will capture in this particular sale agreement. Once you agree on the purchase price, the deposit payable, and how you intend to clear the installment. Yeah, so at that stage, the lawyer needs to be involved. You guys will, the two parties will sign a contract, a sale agreement between the two of them in the presence of this lawyer and other witnesses. Then now from there you can proceed to make the payment. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are the charges for the lawyer? Because I know a lot of people, the reason why they don't like involving lawyers is the cost implications. I think these feeling that they are expensive, but are they?
I would say that it will depend on how you negotiate with your lawyer.
It's not something that is outlined in the law.
As advocates, we have what dictates how we charge in such particular transactions. Mm-hmm. It's called the Advocate's Remuneration Order. Mm-hmm. That only provides for the minimum that I can charge in a transaction, mm-hmm. but it doesn't give the upper limit. So it's between 1% or 1.5%. Others will do the 2%. Yeah, depending on, again, the volume of this transaction. Mm-hmm. So over and above, of course, as advocates, we don't advocate or we don't support the whole issue of undercutting, but it should be somewhere between 1% of the valuation of the land, mm-hmm. and 2%. Yes.
So if the land value is, let's say, 1 million shillings.
Yes.
So it is 1 or 2%.
Yes.
Of the value of that land.
Yes.
Which is about 10 or 20,000 shillings.
Yes, of course, that is the legal fees, mm-hmm. that the advocate will get. Mm-hmm. Over and above that, we have those government fees payable at the registry, mm-hmm. that are non-negotiable. Like, for example, this client will have to pay for the registration fees. Mm-hmm. You will have to pay for the stamp duty.
So using the 1 million value of the land.
Yes.
Let's settle for the advocate's fee at 2%.
Yes.
Which is 20,000.
Yes.
What else do you need to pay for this land?
Yeah, you'll need to pay for valuation. Of course, the person.
How much?
Okay. In a scenario whereby we have a vendor and a purchaser, there are those costs that the vendor will shoulder, and there are those that the purchaser will shoulder.
So the valuation
at
will be
the
done
point that the vendor is selling this particular land, if it is a freehold that needs consent to be transferred, then the cost for obtaining the land control board consent will be shouldered by the vendor.
By the vendor?
Yeah, by the vendor.
And the vendor here is the one who is selling this.
Is the one who is selling this particular parcel of land. Yeah. So on the other hand, on the side of the purchaser, we'll need to get to obtain a valuation, which is being done at the registry by the government valuer.
So the valuation will be paid for by the buyer.
Yes, yes, yes. So the buyer will pay for the valuation. Then from the valuation, the buyer will be able to know how much stamp duty is payable. Because if it is within a municipality, it is 4%.
4%?
Yeah, if it is out of a municipality, it is 2%.
It is 2%?
Yes, but currently...
So using the 1 million valuation.
Yes.
So if it is within a municipality,
yes,
then I, the buyer, will pay a land rate of 4%.
You'll pay a stamp duty.
A stamp duty, sorry.
Yeah, of 4%. So if the government valuers determines that the value of this land, given the developments which have taken place, is 1 million, which is also equivalent to the purchase price agreeable by both parties, then the stamp duty payable will be 4% of that 1 million.
Of 1 million, which is about 40,000.
Which is about 40,000.
And I am the one paying because I'm the buyer.
Yes, yes, yes. So as the buyer, you'll pay that stamp duty to the government because you're acquiring this property from the other vendor. From the vendor. Yes. So other than that, you'll need to pay for registration fees, of course, at the registry, and also
how much?
If the standard, which is set, is 1,000 shillings.
1,000 bob?
Yes.
Is
for the
it
registration.
Standard? Is it legal? Is it something that you agree or?
It is standard. And again, these are payments that come from the government. So there's that.
So this is a legal fee?
No, it is a statutory fee.
It is a statutory fee?
Yes.
That goes to the government?
Yes, which goes to the government. Again, you'll have to pay for the issuance of new title deed. Of course, the recommended one is 2,500 shillings.
2,500?
Yes.
Who pays for this?
The purchaser.
The purchaser?
Yes. Yeah. So those are some of the costs that will be involved in this transaction. But of course, we have to understand that at the registry, there are challenges that are within the registry that maybe you'll need to overcome through maybe trying to fast track this process. Otherwise, the title will take like 3 months before it comes out. But for you, I'm sure that once
you're talking about challenges, what challenges are these?
Of course, some of the challenges are beyond one's control. Like let's say that the registrar is away for 1 week.
So you're talking about delays?
Yes, yes, yes. The delays at the registry that are maybe out of hand. They are out of control on the side of the advocate.
The process.
Yes.
So who should do this? The buyer or the purchaser? I mean, the seller or the buyer?
The buyer, depending on how is.
So how do you fast track?
Is depending on how is busy with getting the title.
How do you fast track this?
You just get a contact at the registry, of course, trusted
contact.
One. Yes. Then you see how he or she can prioritize your transaction.
Oh dear. Of course, this is not legal, right? This is an agreement that you have with somebody at the ministry that you're going to fast track this process.
Yes, otherwise the client might wait for the title forever. So at least you need to facilitate, have somebody who is tracking for you. So that
there is no legally stipulated time frame as to how long a new title should take to come out.
Well, if you go through the normal process, it might take up to a month or two for you to get your title.
If you go through the normal?
Yes, but if you get a contact...
There are abnormal processes.
No, I would not say they are abnormal. Yeah. But you need to facilitate to ensure that your transaction goes on smoothly and that you get your title. Maybe you are ready with another 10 million you want to start building on that parcel. Will you wait like for 6 months for you to get the title? Yeah, so
you do it the Kenyan way. You get somebody who is inside there. You tell them to fast track
I would say it's about creating a good rapport. And if you're a seasoned practitioner in these registries, you'll already, I know that if you get somebody who is seasoned, maybe somebody's good with Kembu registry, somebody good with Kajedo registry, they can find a way of trying to...
They know the ins and outs.
Yes.
And they know which button to press.
Yes.
For the process to be fast-tracked.
Yes.
I mean, those are the realities that we live in, that we have to live in and accept, as a country. And of course, I know, the question of how then do we smoothen and fast-track this process, I mean, should be, we need to have this kind of conversation. But I also want to find out from you, I mean, so I've done all that and the title is out. What do you do next to confirm that, yes, this is a genuine title?
Yes.
And now the land belongs to me and I can confirm that the land is indeed mine.
Yeah, so once you get to the tail end of the transaction, whereby you've gotten the title deed in your name, there's what we call the post-registration search. Post-registration search, whereby you initiate a search at the registry just to ensure that the entries have been made against your name. The parcel file now reads your name. The green card reflects your name. Yeah, so it's a search that you do after the registration is completed, just to ascertain.
So once you have been given the title,
yes,
it is also upon you now to do the search and confirm that the names coming out of the search are your names.
Yes. So you just need to, once you conduct the search, it's just about to verify the concurrence of the details on the title and that on the parcel file and also on the green card, whether the same has been effected even on the other end of the registry.
Very good.
Yes.
Joshua will be coming back with more because we want to go to the Kasarani Stadium where the naming of Harambee Stars team for the 2024 CHAN, this is Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria is in attendance, as well as Mohammed or Hussein Mohammed, the FKF president. Let's now listen into the CS.
My great honor and privilege this morning to address you as we mark a significant milestone in our journey towards greatness, a journey that leads us to the much anticipated Africa Nations Cup, Africa Nations Championship, popularly known as CHAN 2024. Allow me to begin by expressing heartfelt appreciation to all who have gathered here today, our gallant players, the dedicated technical team, officials from FKF, members of the CHAN local organizing committee, representatives from government, our partners, and the ever-supportive media. Your presence reaffirms that it is not just a tournament. Let me commend FKF President Hussein Mohammed and his team for the outstanding work done so far. Your leadership, FKF President, is commendable. I also wish to recognize the head coach, Ben McCarthy, and the entire technical bench. Your discipline, commitment in the selective process, and clarity of purpose are shaping not just a competitive squad, but a generation of excellence. To our players, this is your moment. Players, this is your moment. Today, as you head to camp, remember you carry the dreams of more than 50 million Kenyans. When you wear the jersey, wear it with pride, purpose, and patriotism. It is not just fabric. It is the heartbeat of a nation stitched with resilience, unity, and belief. Representing your country on home soil is a rare privilege. Seize it with everything you've got. compete with honor, and play with heart. When you rise, we all rise. When you fight, we stand with you. You are not alone. You have a nation behind you. Ladies and gentlemen, as Kenya proudly co-hosts CHAN 2024 for the first time, we are not only placing ourselves on the continental football map, we are affirming the spirit of East African solidarity. This is more than a tournament. It is a celebration of our unity, our youth, and our potential. It's a moment for East Africa and a proud moment for Kenya. The government of Kenya remains unwavering in its commitment to the success of CHAN 2024. We have invested heavily in upgrading sports infrastructure across the country. The Moi International Sports Center Kasarani now stands majestic and ready. The Nyayo International Stadium and our training venues have been upgraded to international standards. These are not just venues, they are platforms of opportunity. And we are not stopping there. As we prepare to host WAFCON 2027, Talanta Stadium set for completion by December this year will be a game changer for our sports and events landscape. Across the nation, we are allocating resources to construct, renovate, and modernize sports infrastructure of all tiers because talent cannot thrive without facilities and dreams cannot flourish without support. Ladies and gentlemen, as August draws nearer, I urge the FKF and the CHAN Local Organizing Committee to remain focused, united, and driven by the bigger picture, delivering a successful tournament that inspires generations and leaves a legacy of excellence. No, this you have the full backing of the government of Kenya. Let us move forward with integrity, teamwork, and unwavering sense of mission. To all Kenyans, this is our moment. Our call to stand together, not just in support of our team, but in celebration of who we are as a people. Let us rise to the occasion with unity, pride, and unwavering patriotism. If you look at the provisional squad, Harambee Stars, it is the face of Kenya. Let every stadium resound with the rhythm of our voices.
That is Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya at Kasarani Sports Complex there, where the ceremony to name the Harambee Stars squad for the CHAN 2024 is currently underway. And he has, of course, said that the government is hoping that the completion of the Talanta Stadium will be done by December this year. Remember, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is a host broadcaster of the CHAN 2024, which is taking place at the Kasarani Sports Complex and the Nyayo National Stadium. And of course, this event is taking place next month. So y'all better be ready for that big event. And of course, remember also WAFCON is coming up in 2027. So y'all better keep tuned to the state broadcaster. We are back in the office, in studio, where I just want to wind up this conversation where we've been discussing land matters. And now we are at the stage of title deed verification. What you need to do to ensure that you confirm that indeed the land title is yours. Joshua Owakom is a legal officer at SIC Investment. He's also an advocate of the High Court, and so he knows a thing or two about land matters. Before we wind up this conversation, help us understand things. There's a lot of fraud in land acquisition or in land buying in this country. Which is the flashpoint?
I would say that the flashpoint is at the point of conducting a thorough due diligence, just to know whether the vendor has a good title to the property that intends to sell, and it has to be robust and very thorough. Once it is done, then most of these cases that we hear about they will significantly reduce. Yes.
You've done the search, you've done your due diligence, you have involved the lawyer, you have bought the land, you have confirmed it is in your names. Is it possible for you to lose that land after that?
The only way that you can lose this land is when the government acquires it in a compulsory way, of which in such a case, you'd be compensated by the government. But in any other way,
so there is no other way
so.
that people can tamper with that title deed to erase your name from the system?
I don't think so.
It is not possible?
Yes.
Very good. What else do we need to know before I let you go?
So as a parting shot, I would just encourage our viewers that in any transaction involving land or housing, just be keen to ensure that you engage a lawyer or a qualified advocate for that matter. Then it's said that cheap is expensive. The legal fees that we charge would appear to be expensive at the onset, but it will save you in the long run. If you decide to go without a lawyer, you'll lose your investment and you'll be crying all over that you've wasted money. Lastly, at SIC, we deal with land and housing. We encourage our viewers to also visit us and maybe pick a plot or a house. Yeah.
Before you go, help us understand this. I mean, I have heard these from, countless people that the moment you buy this land, it is yours. It is advisable to put up, to first of all fence the land, and if possible, even put up, some small structure, just to ensure that intruders do not come your way. Is this something that you'd advocate for?
Yes, it's something that I would advocate for. Once you acquire a piece of land, you've demarcated the boundaries using the beacons. You shouldn't leave that land to lie fallow like that. I would advise the investors kindly put up a wall around it, or just a chain link fence, or just a fence, and if possible have some post there written, this land is not for sale, just to warn the unsuspecting members of the public.
Aren't you inviting them?
No, you are not. You are not. You are letting the unsuspecting members of the public know that this land is not for sale. Yeah. And if you put up a permanent structure, if like just a structure on the land, it will be very much okay. You'll be guarding your interest over this particular parcel of land.
Very good.
Yes.
Oko Joshua, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning, and of course taking us through the lessons of what you need to do for you to ensure that you acquire that much valued piece of land, and you do it legally and genuinely.
Yes.
Your time is highly appreciated.
Welcome.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
Joshua Oko taking us through the crash program on how to acquire land, the do's and don'ts, and how to avoid the pitfalls. You have had it all here on BizCheck. Our first hour is down. We're coming up next with our second conversation, which is on the cooperatives. Remember, the Ushirika Day is coming up on the 12th of this month. And remember, last year, the United Nations directed that the year 2025 be the year of cooperatives. Marube Daniel is the CEO of Cooperatives Alliance of Kenya. He will be joining me here for more conversation around the cooperatives in Kenya, the challenges and the way forward. You're watching BizCheck. A short break is well deserved, and thereafter we are back with the conversation. Stay right here.
Lamin Camara with his first career goal.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika, ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri, David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Welcome back. We are live from Broadcasting House. We are on the second hour of BizCheck. And of course, during this hour, we're going to discuss issues around the cooperative movement here in Kenya and beyond as the world celebrates the Ushirika Day, which is coming up on the 12th of this month, which is on Saturday, right? Yes. And it's taking place at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. But before we get into the conversation, I want to introduce to you the guest. This is Daniel Marube. He's a Chief Executive Officer at Cooperative Alliance of Kenya. He'll be telling us more about this and, of course, the upcoming event and the status of the cooperatives in Kenya, the challenges they are going through and how they are dealing with them. Daniel Marube, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Daniel Marube. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, which is the body, the apex body that brings together all the cooperatives and circles together. Mm-hmm. We speak and do advocacy roles on behalf of all the cooperators in this country. Mm-hmm. We're indeed excited to be hosted here this morning to announce to the Kenyan people that this is an international year of cooperatives. 2024, when the General Assembly of the United Nations sat, they found it nice and wise to declare under the agenda number 78 of 289 to declare 2025 as an international year of cooperatives worldwide, in recognition of the great impact and the importance of cooperatives, on how cooperatives have continued to participate in transforming the lives of communities and people in different areas across the world. Mm-hmm. So the United Nations have recognized that cooperatives as institutions, they have the best business model that includes people, that allows people to bring in their talents, their efforts, mm-hmm. their minds together to solve their own problems, the problems within their communities. And therefore, United Nations gave us the theme that cooperatives help to build the better world. Mm-hmm. Because we are looking at how do we make the world a better place for each and every one of us. Remember then that cooperatives, we are not political parties. We are not aligned to any parties. Mm-hmm. We support the governments of the day, so we complement the government's efforts in making sure that the lives of the people are better every day. Mm-hmm. And therefore, we as cooperatives, we participate to our fullest in the socio-economic well-being of the people. And that is the reason why then United Nations found it prudent and to urged the nations, the member countries, that we need to promote cooperatives within our nations, and that the national government to put in more resources to employ qualified people, to provide budgetary requirements for cooperative development and development growth for sustainability. You remember, even in Kenya alone, that cooperatives have been on the front line in ensuring that communities, we have sufficient food, and for our people continually. And therefore, food sustainability, food nutrition, taking care of the environment, those are some of the key areas that we are looking at during this International Year of Cooperatives. We are asking ourselves, how can we sustainably create job opportunities within our communities through the participation of cooperatives?
Very good. You know, some people confuse, they don't really understand the difference between Cooperatives Alliance of Kenya and the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Organization, KUSCO. What are the parallels?
Thank you very much. That's not the only problems that people have. Some people don't know the difference between a SACCO and a cooperative. And the difference is big. All SACCOs are cooperatives, but not all SACCOs are cooperatives. The SACCOs are a subset of the cooperatives. It emerges from the family of cooperatives. We have different varieties of cooperatives. We have housing cooperatives. We have been hosting a housing cooperative. We have transport cooperatives. They are not SACCOs. We have agricultural cooperatives.
Teachers cooperatives.
The teachers cooperatives.
Police cooperatives.
Yeah, now, all those are under cooperatives, but we provide different services. That is the differentiations. The SACCOs provide a service of saving and credit. We put them under the financial cooperatives. All right? So we call them SACCOs. And most of them have been derived from the agricultural cooperatives. You find the tea SACCOs have been derived from the farmers dealing with the tea or coffee, or both of them. Or the dairy cooperatives can grow to become also to have another service of providing financial services to them. The structure we have on cooperatives in Kenya is a 4-tier level. Number one, we have the primary cooperative, where our members come together. 10 members can come together and form a cooperatives, or 20 or 100. That's a cooperative. That's a primary cooperative. Then we have unions. When you go to every county, we have county cooperatives, unions, where primary cooperatives have come together. For example, the dairy cooperatives can come together and form a union, just like what you are doing, you're seeing in Kiambu, or you are seeing in Meru Union. That's a union of so many dairy cooperatives at the county levels. And then on the national level, we have the national cooperatives, what we are calling the NACOs, the national cooperatives. For example, Cooperative Bank is a national cooperative that was created to provide the cooperative members access to the affordable financial services. CIC is a national cooperative that was created to provide members with the access to affordable insurance services. And the National Housing, NACHU, to provide nationally a service for access to affordable and decent housing. Now, KUSCO was formed to take care of the financial cooperatives. So it is a union of SACCOs, all right? And on top of these national cooperatives, then we have only one apex organization called CAK that takes care of all cooperatives. So Cusco, CIC, Coop Holding, the investor in the Cooperative Bank, they are all members of the Apex organization. So CAK is their umbrella body of all of them, and we are the one that deals with advocating the national government and the county governments to ensure that both governments have created an enabling environment to help the cooperatives to grow and thrive. Yes.
And so it's also very important to help people understand that the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya is a private entity, is not a government-owned entity. It brings together all the cooperatives, SACCOs, and everybody on board.
Yes, we are the spokesperson of the cooperative movement. We check the excesses of both the national government and the county government in terms of when we are dealing with policies and the regulations. So we check the excesses of the cooperative movement so that the governments do not overstep in terms of regulations and controlling the private activities of cooperatives. Indeed, cooperatives, we are a private entity. It's a people-driven entity.
Very well.
Yeah.
Help us understand or bring us to speed the state of cooperatives in Kenya.
Thank you. In Kenya at the moment, we have about 28 to 30,000 registered cooperatives in different sectors. The newest sector at the moment is the worker cooperative, where the people come together with the same skills and the same mindset to provide their services for an income by becoming a cooperative. For example, we are saying the people who are in construction, electricians, plumbers, the machineries, the masons, and transporters can come together and form a cooperative, so that if you want to have a house, to build a home, you don't have to look for all these people. They will be together. So they will be the owners of the cooperative. They are the same people providing services, and when the income comes, they will be able to earn a living out of it. That's what we call promoting as the worker cooperatives. Young people who have done engineering, the people who have done ICT, for example, they can come together and form a cooperative that is geared in providing ICT services to the country, either to the government or to the cooperatives or to any cooperative institutions. Because now you have all the experts, cybersecurity experts, the technology, the software development together, so they can form a cooperative, and then they provide a service. They own the cooperative and providing service through that cooperative, therefore they are getting self-employed through that. We have agricultural cooperatives, of course, and all that. So we have more than about 28 to 30,000 registered cooperatives in all these sectors, from housing, food production, processing, along the value chains, dairy cooperatives, and the like. When you look at it, we are now worth more than 1.3 billion in terms of assets. And we have employed
1.3 billion.
Yes, trillion. We are a 1.3 trillion worth of assets. And it's estimated that we are contributing to about 30%, 30 to about 40% of the national savings. And indeed, cooperatives is the best instrument through which we can be able to train our people to save. Because wealth creation cannot come from nowhere. It is from sacrificing now what you have, saving a third of your income consistently. That is how we will be able to build wealth. And also by assuring you that once you have saved your third, we can also give you 3 times 3 of what you have saved at a competitive interest rates, and you're only getting guarantors from your fellow members. We have been on 1%, that's about 12% per year.
12% per year.
12% per year, or around that side. So members can be able to declare amongst themselves and say, in our SACCO, we want to give this as the interest rate to our members. Because members dictate how your cooperative is working.
You know, as an institution that brings together all the cooperative unions in this country, and the Cooperative Alliance is a home of cooperatives. This is where they go home. This is where they discuss their issues as a family. And so when one of them is unwell, the Cooperative Alliance is supposed to know and is supposed to act. And so this year and last year, I mean, we were all dealing with a crisis at Kenya, at Cusco, where billions of shillings of members' savings, you know, were lost. How was CAK involved in these, and how are you dealing with this to ensure that it doesn't happen in the future? Because it is eroding the confidence of the public in the cooperatives industry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, as much as we are done very well, of course, 1 or 2, 3 SACCOs in the recent past have experienced serious challenges. And some of these challenges are not institutional, but it's people related. And sometimes it's very difficult to legislate ethics and good governance. We have continued to train our leaders on good governance and ethics as a continuous, as it evolves. And number 2, you know, remember, every year, every SACCO, every cooperative society, when they're having an AGM, there's a third of their leaders who are retiring, and we are getting in new leaders. So what we have done is to create good structures and legal instruments that can be able to deter people from people vying into leadership who have got no good moral and ethics. So what have we done? In the new bill, which has really overstayed, it is already in the Senate, we have said that in every cooperative society, we are going to have an independent body that is going to vet everybody who is vying for a leadership position in a cooperative society. Because people are saying some cooperative leaders are very strong and they can influence the elections. So we are saying we will have an independent body which is chaired by the director of cooperatives at the county level, people totally who don't have interest in it, and members who have any issue, who fear to vote during the open voting, they can send messages to that vetting so that we can prevent wrong people from taking leadership in cooperatives. So we will start vetting from the very early places. Number 2, a member who is not comfortable with the leadership of the society can call for a special AGM. And in that particular AGM, we can discuss and remove the leadership before things go wrong. And number 3, we are going to have regulations and laws that will follow the money, that if you mismanage the resources of a cooperative society, we are not going to surcharge you. We will take you to court, we will sell your properties, we will follow the money until the full amount is recovered. And I think, therefore, once this is put in place, we could surely be able to deter the appetite of those who are seeking leadership in cooperatives with the aim of misappropriating or stealing from the cooperative society. So it's painful. It's very painful when one SACCO is going down.
What has been the impact of mismanagement of resources at Cusco on the cooperative movement in Kenya?
As you said, we are a family. Cooperative is a family. When a union like Cusco, when it has its own challenges, it will definitely affect all of us, because quite a number of SACCOs had their own savings in it. But in terms of operations, the cooperatives have been very resilient. And actually, as you noticed, this year still, in spite of what happened last year in Cusco, remember Cusco event, it was not an event that happened, one day, that the money was disappeared in one day. It has been an audit issues over a very long time.
Going back to 4 years.
Yeah, for more than 4 years, indeed, from the audit. So what we are saying is that the impact was there, but cooperatives were very resilient. They even declared quite good dividends to their members, and we have picked up our pieces, and we are moving on. The good thing is that cooperatives is about numbers and many people together. The continuous savings has continued to grow, nevertheless.
How many people are now registered with cooperatives in Kenya today?
We are estimating, I don't have the exact, but for the 2 years ago, we had more than 17 million people participating in 28,000 cooperatives.
17 million people participating in 28,000 cooperatives.
Yes.
And I mean, when you look at the cooperative union and the history of Kenya, I mean, they are joined at the hip. The cooperative movement has been a critical cog in Kenya's socio-economic development. I mean, from the agriculture to workers' union to security. I mean, it has been part and parcel of this great nation. But when you look at it now, technology is appending everything. From how we've known things, from artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning to robotics. How are cooperatives adjusting to the new realities of the new age?
Thank you very much. The cooperative movement at the moment, it is enjoying on the vision of our forefathers that had. It changed. You remember the cooperative evolved a lot during the 90s, during the structural adjustment programs.
Yes.
And our members could not access financial services from commercial banks. That's when the SACCOs came into being. Now, when we project into the future of the cooperatives, technology is going to be the game changer. If we don't adopt technology, we are not going to survive. From our agricultural production, processing along the value chain, our SACCOs and the housing, because our new generation, our new members, the young people, they are extremely on to technology.
Yep.
You could see like over 40% of our cooperatives at the moment have invested quite a lot on their technology. They are doing on their mobile banking, they are working on their internet. These days, you don't have to go to the SACCO premises to do your businesses. You can apply the loan. But the percentage of the SACCOs that are doing that are still very low.
They're very small.
So what we have done, what we have done, and we have been doing this for the last 2-3 years. We started 7 years ago. We have come up with a shared services. We have created, or we have registered, a cooperative society, CoopTech, Shared Services Cooperative Society. That is going to provide access to affordable, efficient, scalable, secure technology. That all the SACCOs, instead of each cooperative society investing for 10-15 million shillings into a standalone system, we could be able to provide a shared services, technology as a shared services through a national cooperative society. That is exactly what is going to change and attract more young people to embrace the spirit of cooperatives. So we have already taken a step that we have already registered, established a technology platform that is going to be available to all our members as a service. Yeah, so in the next 2-3 years, we will be completely different, and we are aiming at attracting the 20 million young people who are not yet joined our cooperatives, so that the future of cooperatives can be sustainable.
Yeah. And you know, and it's proper to say that that's a great initiative. I mean, that you're taking up, you know, the role of ensuring that your members become digitally updated. But the problem with technology that it is evolving and moving very fast. And technology doesn't wait for no one. And when you look at the adoption of technology within the cooperative movement, it is still very low.
Yes.
And so how do you plan to upscale these and ensure that you bring on board more cooperatives joining the digital space and, of course, embracing technologies like artificial intelligence and robotics?
Yeah, now, the COPTECH, the cooperative society that has been created to provide a scalable technology to the cooperative movement is not, we are not buying a technology, they are going to grow with it. We are growing the technology with our business. And the people, the cybersecurity technology, the data analytics is all in-house. So we will be having more than 50 engineers who their work from morning to evening is actually looking at what is the new things happening.
Yep.
So it is scalable in the sense that on daily basis we are growing, we are thinking the future. So the young people will be 10, 15 years ahead of us. So on daily basis, you will be seeing new technologies. It's something new, updates on what's going on in that particular space. So we will be there. We will be embracing that new technologies so that we can be able to empower our people. And education is very key. We will continue educating our people, our cooperative leaders, our new employees in our cooperative societies, our own members to utilize the technology that we are going to deploy. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I mean, when you look at, you know, the cooperative movement, as we have come to know it, it has been dominated by old and aging population.
Yeah.
But you live in a country where 70% of the population is well below the age of 40 years. And so these are the people who are supposed to be driving this critical sector. These are the future of the cooperative movement. And so how do you entice them to take over from where their parents and their grandfathers and grandmothers will take over, will leave it?
Yeah. Our vision, as I said, as a movement, we are looking at who is going to be our future members. The future members are these 20 million young people who are joining the labor market, who are reaching 18 years. We are looking at the children in the primary school at the moment. Those are our future members. And we are saying we must create a suitable environment and platforms from where they are going to be able to participate in. So technology is going to be key for us. It's not just savings. They need to save conveniently from the comfort of their, wherever they are, across the globe. So that's the background we are putting on. And number two, you have to be a member. You know, I know a lot of people have been talking about old people dominating. Yes, they are dominating because they are the ones who are farming coffee. They are the owners of the coffee farms. They are the ones who are taking care of the cows. And the young people, very few people have entered into it. So what the old people are doing at the moment, starting from Kiambu and Meru, they have started giving their children cows. Say, my son, I've given you these 3 cows. Take care of it. The milk you get, the income belongs to you. So, and we are saying the young people can also join in within the value chain, processing of the milk, transporting in the transport, logistics. So there is a big room. And if you go and check most of the cooperatives in their bylaws, we have room for the youth, we have room for the women. And all we are saying, unless you participate in a cooperative, you cannot get leadership. Leadership is not by nomination. We can't come and pick you to be a leader in a cooperative if you are not participating and understanding the philosophy of cooperatives. Yes. Come as a young man, join a cooperative, and fight for a seat, and you will get it. We'll be very glad to have many young people joining cooperative leadership. The door is open.
You talked about having about 17 million members, and this is data that goes back to 2 years ago.
Yes.
So you would expect the number probably maybe could be 18 or 19 million now.
Yes.
What percentage of these would qualify to be classified as young people?
I could say about 35% is young people.
About 35%.
Yeah, if you go to most of the circles at the moment, during the AGM, you get impressed to see a lot of young people there.
So 65%?
65% still in terms of leadership. Yes, it is in an age limit of above 45 and above, 50 and above. But that numbers are gradually coming down and being replaced by the young people.
Are they changing at a rate that satisfy you?
No, not yet, because the young people are not joining, especially the agricultural cooperatives. But if you come to the circles, the savings and credit within the urban centers, it's dominated now by young people. It's taken over by young people. Because in the employment sector, the moment you reach 60, you retire, you're exiting, and the young people are taking over. So the circles, we don't have much problem of age leadership. But where we have more challenge is in the agriculture and production, food production cooperatives. Yeah.
And so then begs the question, I mean, and this is not just a responsibility of the cooperatives. This is a responsibility of the government, the county government, the private sector, as well as cooperatives and change leaders. So how then do we entice young people to go into agriculture so that they can take over from where the old people will stop it?
Yeah. I want to first of all to thank the national government and the county governments. Today, there is in every sub-county, there is a cooperative officer, people promoting cooperatives. I am seeing that the national government is...
Are they doing it the right way?
Yes, they're doing it in the right way. That the county governments, in collaboration with the national governments, by employing so many of those extension services officers to provide cooperative extension services, we see hope. We are seeing a lot of hope that the youth in the sub-county A levels are now being educated and being enticed to enter into different types of cooperatives. And when you look at, some of them are doing honey cooperatives, some are providing avocado cooperatives are coming up, and banana cooperatives and putting some value addition into it. So I see hope that in the near future, in the next 10 years or so, we will not be having these challenges of youth joining cooperatives.
You talked about learning institutions, schools.
Yeah.
And we all remember the 4K Club when we were growing up.
Yes.
Which was a platform giving young learners, an opportunity and a platform to understand agriculture and how they can become members of the cooperative movement. That fizzled out. It died. I remember during about 4 or 5 years ago, the government attempted to revive these. I don't know how far we are with these. But I believe that primary schools is a fertile ground to start nurturing the cooperative movement, to prepare learners to become members and to embrace the concept of cooperative. Is this something that you're exploring with maybe learning institutions?
Yeah, indeed. I wanted to say that when the ministry was developing the new curriculum, the current one that we are having now in grade 9, there was involvement of the cooperative sector to bring in the element of financial literacy within the program. But we are also saying we need to go further and bring cooperative, because it's a way of life, to bring cooperative as a subject to be taught from primary to university. I am so excited at the moment that other than the Cooperative University, which is an institution that was created to provide information and education to the cooperatives, we now have almost any other cooperative universities in Kenya. They are providing that as a subject. So we are saying we need to bring it down to the ground and say, in the next review, we want to continue to suggest to the government to bring cooperative as a subject from the primary and secondary level. That, by so doing, then we will bring the Kenyan people to the spirit to understand what cooperatives are, so that they can start savings from the very early age and embrace it as a model that can bring wealth for their own people. Yeah.
And from where you see it, you know, innovation within the cooperative movement, you know, remains low because of lack of young people in this sector, lack of innovators, and then how then do you attract innovators to come into the cooperative space to develop new products that are aimed at attracting more young people? Today's young people don't have time to go to the bank, to go to a SACCO, to line and queue and wait for their loan to be processed. They just want to do it in the comfort of their bedrooms.
Yeah.
And they want product that addresses their needs. So how do you bring innovators and young thought leaders into the cooperative movement?
Yeah. As we said earlier, SACCOs today, when you go to most of the SACCOs, technology has been very well received in terms of your loan origination, loan application, getting your statements, checking your balances. All this can be done from the comfort of your phone. The societies, we're saying that the SACCOs have invested quite a bit on that particular front, and we are not being left behind. We are at bar with some of the banks in this country. But we are saying we have not reached where we are. It's just a few big SACCOs, Arambe, Stima, Kenya Police, the big ones who can be able to invest in that area. And that's why we are now having our Technology and Innovation Center being led by COPTECH, that in terms of thinking or technology, we have a cooperative society that's going to think on our behalf, to tell us how do we deal with our data that we have? How can we be able to create new products? How do we think like the young people? How can we think for the 2030 and going forward? So that part of the technology and the innovation, we are on it. But look at it this way also. When you go to Meru Dairy Union, how many products are they producing out of their milk? From milk, now they have continued to process the animal feeds. That's creating job and innovation in that area. We are having hundreds of young people who have been trained to do artificial insemination. We are going to, how many people? We are having a lot of veterinary services officers and providing extension services. We have different products of our dairy. You have fresh milk, you have yogurt, you have, name it, ghee and butter. To start this innovation that we are now doing, we are not selling fresh milk. When you look at coffee at the moment, almost at every county, we are processing and we are having a final product. You can have Meru Coffee Union giving you something that you can put with the cup and take your coffee. We have KCCE, who is doing the marketing of our various coffee products from our cooperative farmers. So innovation and creativity, the door is open. We receive ideas and we implement them. So I'm saying, if you are out there and you have a good idea on how we can improve our cooperatives, please come. We will receive them and we'll be very glad to implement new ideas. We are on it. We are on it.
I know there are people, young people watching this show, and of course, they may not be interested in in agriculture or in joining circles that are in agriculture. What new fields can they develop their own cooperatives and join the movement?
We have a few cooperatives already. Young people have come in on green energy. And they are already doing a lot of good business and good work in terms of installing solar technology in the rural areas, in schools. They are moved along to hospitals. That is another area that has not been properly tapped. And we are saying young people can form cooperatives in green energy, in areas to mitigate against climatic changes, in food production, in value chain processing of fruits, macadamia, and the rest. So we still have room. The room for new technologies and innovation is enormous. It is an area that has not been fully tapped. In building new houses, technologies that are coming in, we need to adopt that particular area. So why not? I'm telling the young people out there, whatever idea you have, it can be accommodated in a cooperative society.
Very well. Now, turning our focus now on to the Ushirika, which is going down on the 12th. I know counties, they had their own version on the 5th. What are we looking at on 12th?
As we speak today, there's a lot of activities going on at the grounds of KICC. We are putting up the tents, we are putting on exhibition tents. From tomorrow, we will be opening it to the public to come to KICC, to come and see what kind of technologies and innovations that are going on with cooperatives. If you have not joined any one of those cooperatives, you have an opportunity to come and ask questions and select and join one of those cooperatives who are exhibiting their activities at KICC. I also want to invite you to Cooptech Technology Cooperative Society is also exhibiting the new technologies that they have brought in for the cooperatives. Come and join one of those cooperatives. And then on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, all the cooperative leaders, all the cooperative societies with their members, with their banners, in their uniforms, will be coming in thousands at outside KBCU at Ukulima, near Ukulima Market. We will be walking in procession all the way to KICC in solidarity to show the world that we are together, we are one as a cooperative movement. We will never be separated. We speak in one language and we have one purpose, to bring our people together, to change their socio-economic well-being, to make this country a better place to live in. And therefore, we welcome all of you to come and join us, and we'll be seated by 8:30 to start our official program at 9 o'clock. We'll be having all the national leaders joining us to celebrate this International Year of Cooperatives, for we have every reason to rejoice because cooperatives have done and changed the lives of many people, both in the urban areas and into rural areas. You can't go anywhere without seeing a child who has gone to school by the support of cooperatives, or a small and micro business thriving without getting a loan from a SACCO, a cooperative, or a chama, because chamas are also a form of young, growing cooperatives. So we welcome all of you.
Let's look at the United Nations, when they declared the year 2025 as the International Year of Cooperatives. What has that done to this movement since that declaration was made in 2024?
That declaration has given us a more impetus, a more energy to recruit more people. So we have been having a call to say, each member to bring in one more member. So that is an activity that's going on, and by the end of next year, we will be able to evaluate it to see the impact it has. Our call has been, if we are for 17 million members, if each one of us can bring in one more member, it means that this country, every Kenyan will be a member of cooperatives. We don't want to leave anybody behind. Cooperatives is the only way we can be able to survive in whatever circumstances, because when we come together, we achieve more. We achieve more. And it has been proven worldwide that governments which support cooperatives, their people grow their wealth. Where governments are not supporting cooperatives, their people become too dependent on governments. And therefore, we are calling upon our Kenyan government, our members of parliament, the Senate, please support cooperatives, pass good legislations, pass good laws that can be facilitative in nature to support the young people to join cooperatives. And by coming in through cooperatives, you can be able to grow our own economies.
And now that you're mentioning Senate, and I know the cooperative bill, has been pending at at Senate level. How are you engaging, the Senate to ensure that this bill, is fast-tracked for the benefit of the sector? Indeed,
Cooperative Alliance is working very closely with the committee in the Senate. We worked very, very, very closely with the Council of Governors, and we moved to Parliament. We worked together. Our eyes are on it. We are on it, and we are following them, and we are giving our opinions, and we are talking to them. We are showing the political leadership the importance of having a strong cooperative in this country.
Why has it taken that long, according to them?
They have to sit, they have to discuss, they have processes, and they have priorities within their order of items to be discussed, and we have really continued to urge them to give cooperative bill and the coffee bill priorities, because come 2027, 17 million members in the cooperative sector, we are looking at what are you delivering to us. Deliver to us a good legislation, and we will be able to support you in your agendas as well. Yeah.
Anything else that we need to know before I let you go?
Before I leave the studio, I want to urge Kenyans and tell them that CAK, we are your watchdog to ensure that your savings, your efforts in your cooperative society is taken care of, and we would ensure that your savings, your resources are taken care of, and in spite of whatever the hiccups, the cooperative movement in Kenya is still very strong, and we are the leaders in Africa. And the laws and the regulations that we are proposing to our legislators to take heed on what the people are saying. We are the people who are running cooperatives. We know what it takes. Help us, support us to get the kind of legislation and regulations that can be able to support our cooperatives and the young people. Cooperatives is the place you need to be.
Very good. Marube, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And of course, we wish you all the best during the Kenya Ushirika Day, which is happening on the 12th at Kenyatta International Convention Center.
Thank you very much.
Your time is highly appreciated.
Thank you so much for your time too, and your airtime is very precious to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless
Daniel Marube is the CEO of Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, joining us this morning. And of course, to put into context the phase of cooperatives here in Kenya, and of course the upcoming Ushirika Day on the 12th of July. Well, the second hour is gone, and of course coming up next is the Kurunzi Mashinani. My name is Kimani. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Have a beautiful afternoon ahead of you. Bye for now.